Okay, so at this point you've done your photo essay, your photo shoot of modern buildings and reflections and geometrical shapes, and you have chosen your best ones and printed them in black and white. Black and white because we don't want to waste colour ink, and we're going to be drawing this in pencil, so it just makes it easier for us to see the tones. So I've just got some leftover ones here. And what I'm going to do is just have some fun cutting out some shapes that I can then make into a sort of vorticist collage in my boxes. I'm not going to try and do a whole page in my sketchbook. I'm literally going to just choose maybe 12 by 12 centimetre or 12 by 9 centimetre, I think that is, box. And I give myself a couple because, I'm going to end up with a lot of cut shapes here. And it would be a pity to waste them. So I'm looking for, in my photographs, I'm looking for interesting patterns. And don't forget, you will be drawing this as well. You'll be drawing from your collage. So when it gets really, really complex, the picture that you've cut up, just be mindful that you may need to simplify it when you're drawing. Now, just a square or nearly a square like this is a bit boring. So I'm also going to cut along maybe the lines that I see to create new shapes. And I'm going to keep referring back to those vorticist collages that we are taking inspiration from. So, so I really like these zigzags here. And I don't do any sticking until I am happy with my composition. And if you're confused about the composition, that's already torn, so I'm going to take that off. If you're confused about your composition and what to do here, maybe go back and have a look at those vorticist works to get some inspiration and see what they do. So that would be a bit boring as a whole block, so I'm going to keep maybe, and you can cut into these shapes. Again, try and keep it along the lines that are already there. Maybe I go like that and have a variety of different size shapes and different tones as well. Maybe that's too big. And when you stick them, when you sort of arrange them, try to line up lines with lines to make a new structure. So I'm just going to cut a few more strips out. Notice how in these black and white versions of the vorticist compositions, they do leave quite a lot of white space or at least non-used space, and that provides some balance. So these structures are very dynamic. There's a lot of diagonals going on in them. That makes it feel energetic, and they feel like they almost could be human or some sort of strange building. So yeah, main points are, do leave some white space. Don't feel that you need to cover every single area of your rectangle. Don't forget, you can overlap your pieces and see if you can kind of continue the lines from one piece to another. Also, you may want to think about varying the scale of the pieces you use. So some larger pieces, some smaller pieces. You might want to find areas on your photographs that are less busy and some that are more busy. So here are the 4 collages I just created. Interestingly, I quite like this one. This was actually, I was so pleased with my photo that was quite simple with some very energetic diagonal lines going across, and then I stuck some smaller detail parts on top of it. So that worked, I thought, quite well. So that was a very simple and quick one to do. This one was another one. Of course, if you cut them out of your paper, you can actually experiment with what way up looks best. I still quite like that one. I quite like the Y shape and the fact that it's a little bit looks as if it might tip over or something. So I still like it that way up. This one as well, quite interesting to try it different ways. Doesn't really matter. Actually, that one looks quite like a whole building. I might keep it that way. This one I'm not quite so pleased with because I think it's a bit too busy and it's a bit too obvious, I guess you could say. These two diagonals kind of crossing each other. I don't know. But what I could do here is cut it up again, the whole collage. I'm not sure. I have to sort of think about it. But anyway, the fact is, when you've done quite a few, you can choose which ones or one you want to move forward with. So, you know, I could just cut this in half and then sort of see if I can make a different composition. Maybe one in which there is more blank space, which is what the problem was with that one before. So it's a kind of matter of just playing around really to see what you like best, using your intuition and again making sure that you have variations, contrast in tone, so darks, lights and mid-tones, variation in shapes, in terms of what kind of shape they are, and also in terms of size. And also think about harmony and composition, and make sure you have some sort of less busy spaces as well as some busier spaces.